Sybil, can I talk to you?
Yes?
I'd like to ask you a few questions.
What do you want to know?
So then, any result from the study of all these creatures?
I have discovered a few things about the small chrysalids. They are much faster, but it seems that I also noticed that the medium-sized chrysalids were slower than small ones. But they, however, can fire tiny projectiles. The sickles have a power that depends on their growth. The biggest ones are the most dangerous. Up close, their attacks can be frenetic and extremely dangerous.
This is Valvenor. It is not a beautiful place, but for the time being, it seems to be unknown to the Deadwalker army. This village has known better days. Before the war, it was popular among the rich hunters who came to enjoy the ample game in the swamps. Today, the only visitors are refugees, who are sadly too numerous for the scant resources of the village. A small healing house provides comfort and succor to the injured. The knight is quite fond of Mirana, the healer who runs the place. Does the mercenary see the building opposite? It was once an inn, but it is now the residence of the steward, the man now in charge of the village.
This is a very large inn, considering the size of the village. There must have been many visitors before the war.
With any luck, we might get to sleep in a real bed tonight. What can you tell me about?
This village is a modest one, and its reserves are almost gone.
I already figured it was some kind of
That the refugees and the villagers must live together is difficult. The swamp offers protection against the Deadwalkers, but it also harbors many dangers. When the knight and the elf are not there to defend the walls, the watch often leave them unguarded. Shit.
What does the steward want with me?
The captain has offered the services of the freeborn blades to the steward. The steward must have order.
Shit. I'm gonna get stuck being this guy's errand boy. Damn. I knew I should have gone with the rest. Where can I find the steward?
As the knight said, the steward is in the old inn, the big building.
How come you talk that way?
The way people speak is different from one place to another. The knight's people are a warrior tribe from Algandar, and he is proud of them.
I'm going.
Here we go. Another one of these hick refugees. There's nothing...
Call me a hick one more time.
Let's all remain calm, shall we? Please forgive my error. With all this commotion and all the... So... What?
I need more info.
And you have decided that I have a sympathetic face. It's the story of my life.
And the Red Scribes? No.
Oh, certainly. A boring bunch of fusspots, spreading
Our game? Well, pray tell. Give us the details. Please, give us the benefit.
I don't pretend to know about all their little plots. I spend very little time with them, and frankly... But I am fully aware that pretty speeches serve no better purpose than manipulating minds. They're nothing more than noisy masks behind which hides a reaction. The more the melody is sweet, the better it distracts you. And Is there anything more?
When it comes to disgusting discourse, you seem to be something of an expert.
Do you know the woman who runs the healing?
Oh, but of course. She's all one hears about lately. Everyone here will tell you that she's a courageous woman, fighting everyone but me. The woman's insane. There are already far too many mouths to feed in this camp.
It's not often you see an elf blending in with other...
To my knowledge, I was the only one. That is until Prince Arundel and his acolyte arrived. Does that pose a problem?
Not at all.
Well, it does for me. His Majesty the Prince of Imbeciles is going to bring us nothing but...
What can you tell me about the steward?
Oh, don't expect me to say anything bad about Bertolf Chambriad. I'm not always in agreement with him, but I can see that he knows his...
Let's talk about something else. Show me what you have.
Gold.
Swamp is our best defense. Happily, the wildlife are just as keen on attacking the deadwalkers as they are the villagers. But the situation here in Valvanor grows worse daily. And each new wave of refugees increases the risk of drawing unwanted attention.
No Ice Lord scouts who find this village will ever escape to tell the tale. Of that, I can assure you. Also, my men are reinforcing your defenses. Forgive me for saying, but you have some serious weak points. Especially the defenses around that refugee camp.
The arrival of the Freeborn Blades and the Red Scribes has greatly improved our chances of survival, Captain. Believe me when I say that we're... Needless to say, your men and the Red Scribes are welcome and free to go where they will. But as for any other newcomers, you must understand that our food stores are as limited. Until you arrived, we had but one person who was even vaguely capable of treating our injured. In the case of Prince... And there is this beast story. Doubtless another fairy tale, the fruit of an Something hidden in these swamps is causing these disappearances, but we cannot... Large groups entail moving chrysalids that are unmanageable.
Silence.
If I were to listen to everyone, I would need 10 times the number of men I have to verify the truth of every tale.
Enough. You must aid me to do this. I am not able to do that. Your endless wailings are unbearable.
In the name of... Vulcan?
But, by the gods, man, what is...
This world is condemned. The cold hath invaded its ground, its souls, and its heart. Yet here you stand, weaving your limbs like fish taken from the water, miserably shuffling about to conserve the illusion of warmth and life, and not feel the passing of your last breath, while I must endure your wailings and lamentations. Pitiful.
Vulcan, stop this nonsense immediately.
It is not he who speaks. All doth fall to ruin about you. Yet you still beware. You cannot vanquish your dead walkers, no more than you can vanquish their necromancer masters. Your only chance to cleanse what your own hath corrupted is to go to the World Heart and liberate it.
The World Heart is a myth, a forgotten fairy tale.
A myth. Continue hiding behind thy puny barricades, and thou wilt soon join thy myths and ferret.
Cease your pretense. I know you have returned to consciousness.
What the hell happened? I was just listening to the steward blabbing away with the captain, and then...
And then you lost control.
I don't know, it's like something in my head zapped me so it could use my mouth. But I was still there. Still thinking.
This is not the first time you have felt this presence.
No. No, it's been there since the...
Interesting. It would seem that you're... And it is clearly a spirit of...
No kidding. I got a demon in my head.
Something of the kind. In truth, I could not...
Don't make me laugh. After all, it's your disciples that let this thing out of its cage.
That has nothing to do with it. Do you have any idea of...
What? Just because I said some weird shit? Believe me, it's not the first time.
Obviously, you haven't understood. There is not enough space inside you for two souls. That demon wants your body.
Ha! Thou thinkest I crave the body of a mortal? I am a prisoner here.
It will not hesitate to lie to you, to tell you that which you wish to hear, so that you will...
I never asked for this cage. I never asked to be forced to hear thy every thought.
It speaks to you. Do not listen to it. Cast it from you.
Hey, take it easy. One day at a time, okay? I'm gonna take a walk.
am busy, mercenary.
The Order of the Freeborn Blades is of great repute. The mercenary's powers are both. The knight would like to duel with the mercenary. That
It's not...
the knight heard talk of
Yeah, the short version is that I have a demon.
a demon. The knight has never...
I don't think there's anything you can do to help, but I have to get this...
The knight does not possess the requisite knowledge for it.
The scribes are working on it.
The knight does not completely trust these...
I have a few... So what did you abet?
The knight has already said it.
This could be the...
It is true that tomorrow, but the abandonment of the past means the
That's what you claim.
Very well. Know then,
I suppose they must be dead. I'm sorry for your loss.
it was long ago. 15 years have passed since his wife and his 2 daughters were taken from him.
The Deadwalker army?
Yes, they were among the first victims when the Ice Lords attacked the Algander Islands. They were thought to be safe with the other women, far behind the front lines. But the Deadwalkers broke through our lines and stole away the innocents. The knight searched the enemy lines for days, but when he found them, he had to fight what the sorcerers had created from his wife and his children. A dread. This was the most...
So how did you end up?
When he saw that all his kin were slain, the knight was hungry for revenge. But in every battle, he lost more of his brothers, and the orders were always hazardous. With betrayal, faced with these eternal difficulties and death, always more death, he decided instead to take care of the war's victims, to protect them. Even though he knew it is a final mission without any other hope, but to give comfort and relief.
You mentioned the Order.
It is the order that a knight belongs to. They are their surviving warriors and honored soldiers.
Oh, so it's kind of the Order of the Orphan Knights.
This name does not sound well.
Right. So you haven't always been in...
No. He was first a defender of the Algander Islands. Then he was a Templar of the Order of...
So all of those orders have been lost.
He has lost many valorous companions in battle, and his heart is heavy with
I'll bet. So what is the creed?
The knight has long searched for the answer. Now he knows it. To seek a glorious death.
That's kind of... If you follow me, we should be able...
The knight will wait for this moment.
You're not from around here.
The knight was born in the Algander Islands. It is a proud and savage place where the struggle against the wind and vicious neighbors makes a man strong. The Ice Lords attacked the islands more than 15 years ago, long before the rest of Vertial knew that the world was now at war. The clans were always fighting, but they fought together as brothers when the islands were threatened. And as a defender of Algander, the knight had the honor to be one of the first to fight. And with his brothers for a long time, he repulsed the invader. Some of the clan chiefs wanted to make peace with the Ice Lords, but the Ice Lords betrayed them, and the clans were decimated. Their numbers were sorely missed during the following battles, and in a few, the knight was sent by the surviving clan chief. But time is a cruel master. When he returned...
What do you think of the
Their studies have made them blind. Only today they have the ear of the last surviving warriors. They do not...
Let's change this. You want to fight?
Let the clash of steel...
Wait for me here, Sybil. I won't be...
It hopes that his adversary will not hold back his blow.
Oh, you can count on it.
Has never before battled an adversary with such power, and he believes that he could be that which is needed to change the course of this war.
You fight pretty good yourself. Where did you learn your moves? Can't believe you learned...
The knight has traveled far and fought many battles. He has only lived in his
What are you doing in the middle of these swamps when you can...
The knight has fought a great many battles, but
I have to go.
Before his adversary rushes off to fight, he wishes to know if the freeborn blades...
I'm not the one who decides who joins the company.
He has thought long on it, and wishes it...
Well, that's great. I'll ask him, but I can't...
Mr. Vulcan.
I've got a few...
I
need a blacksmith.
With none more qualified, I suppose I should warn you, he's quite a tricky character. Before the war, he was a sort of artist. He crafted jewelry and but he's the only one here who had even the vaguest notion.
The healing house. It's a pretty good thing.
If you say so. As time has gone by, the healing house has drawn refugees to the... When it opened its doors a year ago, the sense of relief was palpable. It was run by a couple, an elf... Thanks to them, we were spared. But as the war dragged on, the endless tide of refugees continued to flow through our gates until we could harbor. 6 months ago, our worst nightmares were fulfilled. Our elf doctor fell ill and died. The refugees just keep on coming. And I fear that poor woman is
Who are all those refugees that you're keeping outside?
The war with the Ice Lords has driven many from their homes and villages. I have tried to accommodate as many as we can and provide as much comfort as possible. We are reaching the end of our reserves and relations between the refugees and the villagers.
The refugees can't all be dead weight. Some of them...
Oh, if only. Believe me, I would be the first. These peasants have been fleeing from town to town and from camp to... The best and strongest of them perished in battles, somewhere along the way. I must deal...
What can you tell me about...
Before the war, there were just a few families here. These days, they survive as best they can, husbanding their animals and digging up the puny... These woods are fruitful, but more perilous than ever before.
But you've got your guards.
They hardly qualify as an armed militia. Of the few that remain, most of the real fighters left the village as soon as war broke out. The others died. Sadly, the man is a walking beer keg, who could not give a dog's fuck.
How come it's you that's running the show?
What a question. Because you imagine I'm doing this for my amusement, perhaps. Doubtless, the chief of the watch has trouble organizing 3 peasants. Our dear apothecary is... And regardless of your reputation, the people of this village would never trust outside. So yes, it is indeed I who command here. The one-time steward of the hunting lodge of Valvanor.
Well, hell, I'm glad we got... The captain wants me to help your village.
With our shortages of food and fighting men, our worn-out equipment and the growing lines, sadly, I fear that these are not the sort of problems you're used to.
Maybe I'll surprise you. I need the reports about this beast.
I fear I am unable to be of help. I'm still not in touch. All I know is that several villagers have vanished. One villager is at present in the doctor's care, following us. These swamps are crawling with dangers. There is nothing to suggest. The refugees are always inventing horror stories in an attempt to force us to open our gates.
It might be worth checking it out. You said you lost one of your patrol.
That is so. You should speak with Randval. He was most anxious to go out, and now that we have more able bodies to guard our gates, I imagine he would...
So what's the problem with the...
Quite simply, Mirana cannot keep up. She spends every waking minute. She thinks she's fooling me. I have heard rumors that her food stock is running low. Unsurprisingly, the crowds outside are... But I believe they wish to continue handing out our food reserves as though they were unlimited.
So, you want someone to put her down?
Why, I never suggested any such thing. But I have asked nothing of you.
Your guards... How can I put this? At first, I thought they were disobeying orders. If you're stupid and incompetent, you should be digging turnips, not taking care...
You're beginning to worry me.
Are you kidding me? The state of their weapons is enough to make you cry. Maybe...
Personally, I'm not capable of judging the aptitude of our sentries, but their poor results. Doubtless, you should share your observations with Mason, the chief of the watch. I should warn you, however...
Wouldn't be the first I've... We'll talk again later. The mercenary salutes. I'll leave you. Sybil, can I talk to you?
Yes?
I need your help.
If you want.
Vulcan, you must help me.
Well, I'm happy to see that my talents as a doctor are finally being...
There's no doubt an explosion would cure him of all his ills forever. But I was actually thinking about your connections with the Red Scribes. If you could speak to them, it would save...
I wouldn't exactly call myself a friend of theirs. So is the prince doing any...
He is still in a coma. He doesn't seem...
I'm going to talk with the Red Scribes, Doctor.
Thank you.
Let's change this. I have a few... Elves are pretty rare. I haven't had the chance.
We are born in the trees, eat only seeds, and we spend all the livelong day singing.
I get the feeling you're fucking with me.
Perish the thought. Well, it's just that we aren't that different from you humans, despite what one hears. Our civilization is obviously a bit older, so we have had the time to learn from our mistakes. We don't really live in the same rhythm as you do. We move a little slower, and most of us are prone to having at least some respect for the past. This is the reason why we never destroy anything, that we prefer to build on top of things.
I've heard that you are immortal.
That joke has lived for 15 generations. No, we're not immortal. We live long lives, though. We are resistant to poisons, rotten food, and toxic body odor, apparently.
Don't elves ever...
That's an impression we like to give other people. The fact is, we do... You must understand that, given our long lifetimes, battles are fairly futile. This may well be what has motivated the choices of our king concerning the Ice Law, but we certainly know how to fight, and you'll see proof of that soon enough.
So it's the prince who gives the orders.
The word orders may not be the best one. We do not submit, nor our kings are a reference. Wise men who can point out the way. They tend to guide us, but to answer your question, it is his father the king who is the leader of our people.
Who is the elf in the healing house?
He is Prince Arundel, the son of our king and heir to the...
How the hell did he end up here?
Prince Arundel led a detachment of the elven army sent to harass the Dead Wall, and when he reached Bastion, he fell into an amp. I got wind of this trap, but by the time I arrived, when I caught up to the prince, he was already wounded, and most of his soldiers were dead. Those who survived.
To here?
Yes. The route to Carolthas was too dangerous. I knew about this village and felt that it would be secure for... As soon as he gets better, we shall leave for Carolthas. The remainder of the human and elven armies are gathering there.
You seem different from the other elves I've met.
Really? I seem different. And if you really want to know, I actually come from one of the most ancient and noble houses that exists. But I can assure you that I am sufficiently far down the line of succession to be in no danger of being crowned.
As far as bad reputations go, every mercenary has got one, so we're used to it.
Let's just say that I got into enough trouble to eventually be considered a traitor to my people. When he thought that this war, like so many others, would not last. That the conquests won by the Ice Lords would melt away like all the human victims, but I thought differently. Right from the start of hostilities, I began to requisition certain resources when my people discovered what I'd done. I was declared an outlaw, and many saw me as a
bunch of cowards. If they had listened to you, we wouldn't be...
I've been telling myself that for years. But I do understand their point of view. They have had some time to prepare their forces and to learn the strengths and weaknesses of the... This knowledge might allow us to turn the tide of the war, even if it does seem too...
Do you know these swamps?
I've been in this area long enough to have explored a fair amount of it, actually. The region is rather inhospitable.
A good thing?
These swamps are a labyrinth. The Deadwalker scouts will
That means we should be fairly safe for the moment. At least until a
Except that recently, there has been a change in these swamplands. And
What do you mean?
Something is affecting the swamplands, corrupting the vegetation. But anything that grows or lives here could become a threat. So I strongly recommend that you watch where you put...
Let's change... So is the prince?
He is still in a coma.
I'm going to talk with the Red Scribes.
Thank you.
I'll leave you here. Do you have any idea how to wake the elf?
Unfortunately, I don't. I think I've tried just about...
You said just about.
It's true. There's one formula I haven't tried yet. An extreme...
What is it?
A very virulent poison secreted by the chrysalid queen. But be careful. I wanted to go looking for them myself, but the villagers stopped. It seems they can be found along the road we took to get here. And apparently...
I'll get you some. I have some... Do you have any idea?
I'm afraid I may not be able to help you. Your symptoms remind me of certain mental illnesses, where the subject has the impression he hears voices in his head.
And do these nutcases throw fire?
You'd be surprised at what they can do. That being the case, if you study them, in particular, I'm thinking of the fact that most of these poor madmen end up giving Make sure that doesn't happen.
I have some So are you getting...
Unfortunately, no.
I'm still
Like I said, the vill...
I'll go look into it. Can I have a look at...
I am busy.
It's frustrating. I feel completely useless.
Mercenary?
With all the knowledge accumulated by your scribes, you must have learned something about the ice.
We do indeed know some of their secrets.
Anything we could use to...
We thought we'd found a chink in their powers that our ritual was supposed to let us...
That's one way of putting it.
That said, I'm beginning to wonder if we haven't involuntarily...
I'm not following you.
What you have within you could well turn out to be their doom. And unfortunately, as long as we don't know more about it...
Tell me more about your order.
Before the war, our main objective increased. We had a presence everywhere on the continent. We studied and preserved all possible sources of knowledge there. Because even though we're not the greatest magicians, our knowledge let us... I could of course relate our history in detail for our...
Can I do something?
No, thank you.
According to the villagers, there's a beast haunting this...
I have heard about it, yes. And although I don't have any concrete information, even though we aren't very good at magic, we still feel it. And since we came to the swamp, the problem is that the source seems distorted, corrupted.
I hope for our sake you're right about that. Otherwise
We are very certain of it. But this magic could very well have transformed one or more creatures in the swamp, making them more aggressive.
So you're telling me the thing is magic and corrupted? Can I do something?
No.
I need your help. I'll be going now.
My respect.
Name, rank, and mission soldier.
Private Bumpkin, General, sir. Assigned to the northwest gate to prevent any intrusion.
Private Bumpkin?
No, General, sir. That is the name boss guard Mason.
I see. I would like you to give me some information about... What do you think of the...
General, sir, Boss Guard Mason, he isn't...
Be honest, soldier. The one thing I hate is a liar.
Why, it's just odd.
You won't get any. I'm asking...
Okay, General, sir. Because the thing is, he insults us all the time and never shows us how to do nothing. He spends all his time...
Drinking like a chamber pot?
Please, I don't even want to know. Thanks for the information. What do you think about the steward?
The steward? Well, I don't know much about him, General, sir. But before the war, when he took care of the hunting lodge, he used to come and buy vegetables. But they didn't like him much. He always spoke...
All these refugees, are they causing...
Well, it's true, there is a lot of them. So that means a lot more work for us. Then again, we can't get too mad at them either. It's all because of the war. And sometimes they help us too. A couple have even joined the guard when the boss thought they was good enough. Plus there's Renko. Well, he fixed up my granddad.
I see. You stand in front of the swamps every day.
Oh, not that much, General, sir. I never set foot out there. It's wait. There's lots of monsters out there. I can hear them, and that's enough for me.
The whispering?
Yes, General, sir. Sounds like my own mom. Plus, I can't make out one word she's saying. And that don't make no...
Let's change... I would like... Let's change... See you later.
They're just disgusting.
They look like giant... things.
Yes, yes, I know what you're thinking, mercenary.
These soldiers came up against a stronger force. A much, much stronger force. You don't look much like a good luck charm. Fuck.
Please! Get me out of here!
I kind of have my hands full right now. Just let me deal with this creature, and I'll be right with you.
That's what they always say. And they always want my flesh torn to pieces.
Which is a real good reason to stop distracting me.
This is horrible. We can't just leave that woman in this prison. We must find a way to free her from here.
Sybil, do not do that!
But Father, we can't just let this...
Inhuman? That is exactly...
He's the wicked one. Aeolus, is it not? He's the one who imprisoned me.
I what? You lying!
Father?
She is trying to manipulate you.
I'm begging you, get me out of here.
Who are you?
My name is Edwin. The ignorant will tell you that I'm a witch. The truth is much simpler and more socially acceptable, but neither as powerful nor as evil-minded.
She lies to thee. She is hiding something.
You would say that.
I beg your pardon.
No.
Believe me, she is powerful.
You seem to know a lot about her.
What the steward asked me to look into a dark power that is... And my search has led me here. It is no coincidence.
I wouldn't expect him to admit to keeping a woman captive in...
Nonsense.
And so you just trotted out here with no escort?
I came here as quickly as possible, yes. I was hoping that you would escort us back to the village afterwards. Without it.
I've never been in the habit of just letting people die like animals in a cage. Whatever they're... This woman doesn't look like a dead walker. That's enough for me. We'll take her back to Valvin.
Stay away, you stupid girl. No! Fools! Leave her in that...
Now meet your eternity.
What are you doing to him? Let him go!
Very well. You may have him. I am finished.
Father? Father!
Wait, wait! If I am to die, I wish to know who stands before...
I don't need to answer you. You're the one who better talk.
Character. That's a change. Too bad it doesn't seem to be accompanied by a... From what I can see, you're an imbecile. Incapable of piercing the face that hides the true nature of the Reds.
Well, I can pierce your face, if that's...
Mock, if you like. Lamb that you are. You insist on believing that your employers are only scholars. Red scribes, ice lords, they come from the same mold, and they want the same... Aeolus thought I possessed knowledge, which he could use to become the equal of the ice lord.
That's ridiculous. My father wasn't like that.
Sybil, wait! Witch, I suggest you behave yourself if you don't want to find your... I have questions. Lots of questions. And you're...
So be it. Then I will tell you exactly what...
The Red Scribes performed a ritual in an ancient...
So that's the reason why he disappeared. The ritual was designed to augment his power. Had it succeeded, he would have become an accomplished magician. Given the ease with which I killed him, I suspect the
Let's just say the results weren't quite what he was hoping for. But something definitely happened.
A thing?
A sort of parasite. The Red Scribes told me it was a demon.
Neither one nor the other. I bring thee flames. I bring thee the world heart. I bring thee the power, and thou...
Hello?
Huh? Oh, yeah.
I must say, I have never heard of such a thing.
The end result is I sometimes find myself wondering who I am. What I am. That is, when we're not arguing, or it's not taking control. Then again...
This is absolutely fascinating. I think, when we get the chance, there is probably much to learn from this demon.
We'll see. For now, we've got more. Besides Alas, did you see any...
I was drugged before being brought here. Aeolus is the only scribe, but his second-in-command must have known. Although I don't know exactly how much... If they are all as naive as his daughter, I imagine the
You had the upper hand. Why did you just...
I desperately needed to replenish my power, so I drained his. My mood grows a bit murderous when I get too hungry, or when I spend too many days. Your friend was no hero. His aim was to reproduce the same ancient rituals that permitted powerful magicians.
He wasn't my friend. He was my employer, and a very influential man. You could have spared him, giving credence to your version of events, but you chose...
He was a deceitful and manipulative man. No one would have listened to me.
The World Heart has had nothing but suffering from these magicians.
Your pleasure won't last long. I have to bring you to Valvanor, where both of us are going to... And since you took it upon yourself to kill their leader, I think you can expect that the Red Scribe...
Do what you must do, mercenary. I'm your prisoner and...
My captain? We have a contract with the Red Scribes. If you have decided you'd rather... Otherwise, your best move is to tell your side of the story to the steward.
Ah, but there is the girl.
What girl? Sybil? You're dreaming. You killed...
On the contrary, she will tell the truth.
We'll see. But whatever happens, if I go down Witch, I guarantee... Let's finish this discussion in Valvanor.
Have you decided?
I'm working.
Meanwhile...
You are free to do what you want as long as you stay in the village or with me. So one false move and I blow you up.
Yes, very clear. And perfect timing as well. It just so happens a place whose tragic end now seems ordained, and over whose corpse the Red Scribes and a spectacle which promises to be unique.
We'll enjoy the show. But if I ever need you...
Very well.
We need to rethink your...
Do we have a problem?
I understand that you don't want to take a lot of hits, but I'd like...
Well, I was just waiting.
I would like to... Alas called you a sorcerer.
A sorceress? Only a root. If Aeolus had even a minimum of intelligence, and I do a bit of magic, it's true, but nonetheless, my abilities could never rival those of a Lord of the Frozen Shadow.
So this demon inside...
I can't say for sure. I've only rarely ever seen something so interesting, but all the same, I'm certain of one thing. Your hope...
To the World Heart?
It's a simple question of logic. The ritual performed by the scribes had to make contact.
Okay, but what's my...
For now, you are the vehicle. You'll have to decide if you're going to use its power.
Can we win this?
You already know the answer. What was the last battle the Dead Walk...
I never heard of it.
This all took place in a kingdom in the northeast. I don't recall the name. A few days after having stopped the Deadwalker army, the kingdom was razed to the ground.
But then it is possible to...
You haven't understood. Whatever the result of whether they win or lose, they always prevail.
It's a war of attrition.
If it were only military victory they sought, yes. But don't forget, they are crafty and intelligent.
Sounds promising. Thanks. headwind.
What?
Thanks. He'll be pissed, but I gotta go face him.
Well, first go see your steward before the villagers decide to burn me at the stake.
My respects, General.
I am not a... See you later, soldier. Are you okay?
It's on account of that Nigella, ain't it? I take one look.
Are you okay? Hello.
You could at least answer when I ask.
Vulcan, for fuck's sake, what did you do to Ale?
I never laid a finger on him, Captain. But if you want my opinion,
So you had to kill him? That was our fucking employer. Could you not?
I didn't kill him. It was this woman, Edwin.
That's what they told me. That doesn't change the fact that dish, if he was trying to fuck us over, it's up to me to deal with that. And for a starter, where did this wee
She was his prisoner in the swamp. Looks like he was trying to get information out of her, which...
All right, then. Maybe she can be of use to us. I already spoke with Aeolas's assistant. Seems he pulled the wool over their eyes as much as... I need you to get this Edwin woman to talk. I want to know where she's from, who she is, who she...
Understood, Captain.
If you can find Hawk, tell him to get his arse back here. I sent him out on a recon mission.
Do you think something happened?
Well, there aren't any decent whorehouses around here, so yes.
I'll find him, sir. Captain, just fought a duel with Ranville, the guardian of the village. And before you start yelling about wasted, he's one hell of a fighter. He hits you like he was chopping down a tree, and he can take a blow and shake it off.
I have the feeling that every new recruit I take on these days is headed straight for the set. Bring him here to me.
Captain, have you...
Are you trying to be funny?
You wanted the freeborn blades...
As long as we have to...
Captain. Why did we fall back?
The Red Scribes knew of this place, and apart from a few repulsive beasties creeping around outside the walls. So we'll heal our wounded.
Do you think the...
Of course. The blades have always come through. They've existed for more than 2 centuries, and they won't give up now. But to tell you the truth, we're not. And as for new recruits, it's been what? A year on.
Most of us were recruited when the war began, and there aren't many of us left. Deal?
If we're going to hold this village, we're going to have to... As soon as we've recovered a bit, we'll break camp and head for Carol Pass. I already sent some, with a bit of luck. They'll come up with something better than what...
Do you really think we should be...
I've never really trusted that Aeolas fellow. I could sense he was hiding a knife behind his back.
I'm leaving.
Go there, Powder Man. You still...
Pretty quiet.
Yeah. Do you really imagine the Deadwalkers are going to forget about this place just...
No. But it'll slow them down. Maybe we'll see them come.
Ha! There's something in the air that stinks, and I don't mean the locals either. I feel like the Ice Lords are watching.
I have a few... Do you think we can...
Against the Deadwalker army? No.
What do you mean?
Only that sometimes you have to try to chop off the head, you know? That bunch of walking corpses wouldn't be any...
I guess you're right, but I don't think that makes the...
There was a time way back, you know, when there were so many of us in the company. So those two assholes fought over how to share out the men for weeks. They both wanted to... And the result? We had our asses handed to us by an army that was hardly... I guess what I'm trying to say is that the Deadwalkers are just the same. You've got 7...
So if we were able to set them against...
Now you're thinking straight. I don't know how we could do it, but...
So, you made it...
I did. I suppose my time's not up yet. I guess that'll cause more gossip amongst the youngsters. The eternal survive...
I tell you, you'll be the one that buries all of them. How are the freeborn?
We left some blood on the stones in the temple, but if we don't get some new recruits soon, the captain has sent some men ahead to corral us. I hope they managed...
Is there anybody in this village?
See for yourself. There isn't a single man amongst the guards or the refuge. We'll just have to wait.
I have a few... See you later.
My goodness, let's see. You're not pissing blood, you're not vomiting your guts out. Both legs are in place. And now you'll excuse me, but I have other...
I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I'd like...
Are you wounded?
No.
Are you a refugee dying of starvation?
Hey, I'm a mercenary.
Why don't you go roast a Chris alien and come back and see me when you're twisted in pain? Haven't you?
Hang on it.
Wonderful. I've been after him for months to get me some...
The tools are fine. That's not to say I don't get a little...
Only sometimes.
Believe me, I've already used them to do a little surgery on a few...
So be it. If you're as gifted as... In fact, there is something. I'm worried about my assistant, Haman. I haven't seen him for a while now, and we're forced to venture further and further in to find the plants we need. With all that's been going on lately...
Stop.
Please find him. He's a good boy. He's done nothing but help others since he arrived.
If I'm going to be slogging through the swamps anyway, might as well take a look around and try to bring back the plants you need.
Yes, that's a good idea. I would be grateful to you. For the rest, basically, I need food, medicinal herbs, and of course, I'll give you the parchment that I made for Haman to help you recognize the specimens I need.
Right. Plants, potions, chow, and one assistant. If I come across any...
That would be lovely.
I'd like some information about the... What did you do
before the war? Please don't tell me you're naive enough to believe that this war only started 10 years ago.
That's what everybody says.
I come from Shorelin, a faraway land in the north. But because no one is left to write the history books, other than a fanatical cult, the fact remains that the war is far more ancient than that. For as I was only just learning to walk, when
I have heard of this Ice Lord. Winter's the blood...
I wandered along the main roads for years, always heading further south, staying just ahead of the advancing Deadwalkers. First with then just with my sister, then all alone. Until the day I met a remarkable elf, who taught me how to heal, and how to love and help those near me. But after years of fleeing, and ending up here, Roan died 8 months ago, leaving me alone, and
Who were these refugees you're...
They are the outcasts of the war. Those who didn't have the privilege of dying in combat, or who lack knowledge of the arts of the forge. No one wants them. If I...
It seems like a lot of effort for nothing. It's sad to say, but if these refugees can't contribute anything, we should probably...
But it's not everyone, obviously.
So what do you think of...
Oh, don't get me started on that.
Too late if you ask me.
If I were you, I'd be wary of him. He is not... Know that before the war, he was just a lackey, bowing and scraping. Due to a superior's mistake, he thinks he's in charge now. He's a latecomer. Nothing... I've had the misfortune of experiencing his sense of priorities. When he...
I can't say I disagree with you there. This ass...
For the moment, he treats you well because you serve his needs. This might not always...
He'd go that far?
I didn't found the House of Healing alone. It was with my husband, Ron. He was not a great warrior. He was my teacher before becoming. The steward welcomed us with open arms. Then the refugees started arriving in greater numbers. Too many for Chambriad, who ended up closing the gates and pretending that these people simply didn't exist. Ron was furious. He tried to make him understand that he would heal everyone, no matter what. And if the self-proclaimed leader of the village wasn't capable... A few days later, I came back from the swamps to discover Ron in agony in the healing.
You think this was the work of...
Who else would have reason to kill him? Everyone loved him and counted on him. Chambriad thought that without him, Unfortunately for him, I will continue my husband's good work, even unto my dying breath.
This healing house is a waste of time and...
Let's talk about your healing house. I found you a few health books. Here, I hope these will help cover your needs for a little while.
They will prove very useful, I promise.
Where could I find some food for you?
Sadly, there isn't much choice. You have to go look for it in the swamp. Perhaps he will be more generous with a mercenary than with it.
I'm still...
Here, please, I know that it's dangerous, but you'll...
I'd like to see...
I'd rather stay here if you don't mind.
Why? You're not planning...
I don't like the idea of getting locked up by the Red Scribes again. And I'm sure that you don't want to have to scrape another one of your...
Well, it's true that I prefer they remain in one piece. All right, fine, you can stay here. But if you do get it in your head to run away, I will find you.
I'm trembling.
did you find this famous beast?
Found it and killed it. But don't hold your breath waiting for its fur for next winter.
Excellent news. I knew the village could count.
Actually, not so excellent. Alis is dead.
Dead? But no.
When it doesn't move and it doesn't breathe and it looks at you with an even stupider gaze than one of your guards...
I demand that you show some respect. The Red Scribes are a precious help to us here. Aeolus was a useful man. A good...
Oh, please. Your good man had a few skeletons in his closet. He was Aeolus was even ready to kill his own daughter to come.
What nonsense is this? How can you make such ridiculous...
He turned up all alone at the place where I fought the beast. No guide, no escort. And after coming after Sybil, he tried to kill his captive to shut her up. There was a fight, and he didn't survive.
What madness. What do you know of this prisoner? If Aeolus held her captive?
I don't know much. Edwin isn't exactly the...
Well then, you must find out immediately. I should deliver her to the Red Scribes without any further ado, yet, after what you have told me, I no longer know what to think. Until that time, she never leaves your presence. If there is the least incident, I promise you,
Okay.
However low your opinion was of Aeolus, he was meant to be looking into a most disturbed...
All right, I can see where this is headed.
There is no guarantee that you have the necessary skills to handle this matter.
What is it?
That's exactly what I'd like to know. Several of the villagers have been behaving curiously.
You're just hungover. You'd know if you got drunk more often.
I believe there are a few here who know the difference. It's something else. They seem very concentrated.
Got it. I'll slap them around.
My goodness. That's not exactly what I had in mind, but...
Well, that's gonna be my method. So let's leave it at that if you don't mind. I'm not helping you because you made puppy eyes at the captain. The mercenary salute. I talked with the captain. I'll leave you.
Tell me, is it true that you're the demolitions man?
That's right.
You know, while I can't really do any and I've actually been working on a new one, but I'm in...
Let's hear it.
Yeah, that might sound a little twisted. Using sharp pieces of...
That's not a bad idea. The basic idea is fine, but there's a good chance we won't find the stuff we need around here.
And do you think we'll get similar results with these...
Maybe even better. A little messy. I'll give you a list of the stuff we'll need. I'll let you go out and find it all. We'll meet...
Perfect.
Greetings, merchant.
So are you
Unfortunately, no.
I'm still looking for the Chrysalid Queen.
Like I said, the villagers say that their territory is around the road we came here by.
I'll go look into it. I'll be going now.
Leave me, Vulcan.
I'm sorry about your dad. She took me by surprise.
Even though I wish you could have saved him, it's...
Yeah, but it's understandable that she'd be mad at your father.
Whatever he did to her, he didn't deserve to die like that. She's a murderer, a monster.
A monster that maybe just saved...
Perhaps. But why did my father...
He had us to protect him. And if he hadn't shown up in the middle of the swamp, he'd still be alive. He must have been up to something, because he didn't talk to anyone about it. Not even...
What are you accused?
Nothing, really. I'm just asking questions.
I will help you. I need to know...
I'd like to ask...
What do you want to know?
So then...
I observed that the Rippers always hide inside objects, like a tree trunk, for example. They're quite slow, and only attack from a very close distance. Have you discovered any...
There are whip vines. I mean, I'm not very good at naming things and creatures, but that's how I describe them. So then, I destroyed some of the fungi, or parasite. They're like a round ball that doesn't move, but if... So then, we did fight with the creature that...
As you may remember, I was there, and...
I'm no expert, but it was...
Bizarre?
I fought with enough creatures to know how they move and how they behave. That one, it just wasn't right. It's as though it would...
I think you're right. I think it was already under the influence of several kinds of corruption.
Do you think it was that corruption that had killed every...
Without a doubt.
See you later. The mercenaries who... I talked with the... Come on.
As I understand it, some people are behaving even more stupid.
That's right. They have asked...
Perfect.
Hang on. What is you... Is there some special reason you want to get...
I am trapped in a filthy village full of hateful and suspicious peasants. If I stick with you, it's far less risky. And who knows?
Okay, fine.
I'll wait for you here.
The mercenaries... I talked with the captain. He won't... Come on.
Vulcan, I do love our little chats, but...
Captain, this is Rand.
So, it's Rand.
That is the knight's name.
Alrighty then. I'm glad you warned me that he talks a bit funny. Right then, laddie. All ya?
It will be an honor to fight with the man.
If you think you can flatter me into letting you off lightly, forget about it.
The knight hopes that he will be the first to vanquish him.
That's more like it. Not bad. Not bad at all. Welcome to the Free... We were starting to be seriously short of fighters worthy of the name, and you fight like a man. Well, you're a ways off from beating... Vulcan! He's your recruit. You can take care of him. Go on.
Welcome to the Freeborn Blades. Don't take it so hard. The entry fight is a humiliation we all...
The captain deserves his post and his reputation. After such a combat, the knight will need to rest for a moment. He asked...
Okay.
Vulcan. I do love a...
You wanted... Have you heard about these
Yes, I've had reports about them. The whole thing stinks. Take that one over there, for example. The one giving me the fisheye. If we weren't stuck in this place, I'd go over there and put his lights out. I've asked Buffalo to keep an eye on them. If they start getting...
Captain. Captain.
Are you trying to be...
I'm leaving. Edwin, I need to speak to you.
What can I do?
I'm going to have...
You offer me what?
Edwin.
What can I do?
I would like... What do you think about...
They are undoubtedly possessed by some creature, one that is hiding not far away from here.
Thanks. Hello there. You don't like being distracted, obviously.
So, you have returned?
There are reports of suspicious-looking people around. Have you seen it?
Suspicious-looking people? I most certainly...
Don't push my patience too far, Alf.
It's just that I really don't see all that many people. There might have been...
Well... You got any of that famous elven bread that can...
Are you insane? Do I look like a baker? Just because you have pointy ears, everyone assumes you I'm afraid I don't. And let me fill you in on a closely guarded secret among the elven people. Our bread is disgusting. Better that you eat...
Let's talk... Let's talk... I need more
And you have...
And the red scrub.
Oh, certainly. Well, at least...
What can you tell?
Oh, don't expect me to say anything bad about Bertolf Chambriad. I'm not always in agreement with it.
Let's talk... Show me what you...
So,
show me... Do you know this woman?
Of course I know her. Her name's Agatha, and she's my wife these...
What happened to her?
Ask her yourself. She don't talk.
How long has she been like?
It come over her like a dose of the shits a couple of days ago. See, she goes off with Jervis and the others to go and collect berries in the swamp, and when they come...
So she didn't go alone? Jervis is one of Mason's men.
Yeah, that's him. There were 5 or 6 of them. Why didn't you go and ask Jervis?
Where exactly did they go?
What? How the fuck should I know? But at any rate, they never go far. Otherwise, they'd never come.
Is there anything?
Well, she ain't much between the thighs, if that's what you mean. She don't say or do nothing. Just sort of lets me get on with it.
Men. Give them a piece of meat, and they're just a couple of minutes.
Yeah, sure, but not every man.
True. Some are more discerning. Others show the meat a little more...
I was only trying to give her a nice moment.
That's not really what I...
Oh, sorry. I woke up this night, and she weren't there. I must have dozed a half hour before I gone back to sleep, but she never come.
And I imagine you have no idea where she...
None. And she wouldn't say nothing to me, like usual. I hope that...
I can't imagine why she would want to do that.
I'll be leaving now. Greetings. So how...
I think we better go back and talk to that drunken sot who pretends to be chief of the guard. We need to find out where that expedition is going.
Good day. Are you...
You might say that.
Well, do you know what's wrong with him? Have you noticed anything?
Well, of course I noticed. He's the one who's a vegetable, not me. Still, I must admit...
How long ago did he...
About 3 days ago. He went out hunting in the swamps. But when he...
In what way peaceful?
Active? You must be joking. But it's the first time, and I don't know which of the gods I have to thank, but he don't.
You mean he sleeps soundly?
Well, he sleeps less, if that's what you mean. I've even caught...
Do you have any idea where...
No, I've got no idea. Not that...
It doesn't bother you at all?
Let's be honest. Considering the sort of women what are still available in the village, and what a rubbish lover he is, and he's hardly gonna find any gorgeous sluts wandering around this...
You might be surprised.
You're too kind. I can't decide whether I'm flattered or vague.
Don't change a thing.
So true. Thanks for noticing.
Sorry to have bothered you. I'll go. Edwin.
What can I do?
I would like to... What do you think about our investigation?
They were all part of the same expedition, so it would be... They are undoubtedly possessed by some creature, one that is...
Thanks.
We now know that our strange patients are going out at night. So, let's find out where they're going.
A good day to you, soldier.
I should warn you.
No.
I wanted to ask... Have you ever met the steward?
He came to see the refugees several times, but I never spoke to him. I got the impression he couldn't stand us. He's the boss and we're the little people, see?
The life of a refugee
I've been a refugee for years. 5 to be exact. Oh, and believe me, it's never easy. But this village is a pretty good place. The healing house gives us food most of the time.
How are things going with the guards?
Oh, we don't see them too much around here. They're basically here to guard the village. They don't give a shit about the refugees, so they keep their distance. And I hope for the steward's sake that he's not counting too much on them to keep him safe. I've seen lots of soldiers...
Right. The captain tells me you're keeping an eye on the villager.
Yes. Look at them. You see that couple? And they aren't the only ones. There must be at least half a dozen of them.
But what's wrong with them?
No idea. They look like they're turning into... You see how they're placed? They can check out most of them. I'm almost certain they're scouting the place out for someone. Since you seem...
I haven't. Pretty... No? See you later.
Vulcan, I do love our little chat.
Captain. You wanted the...
As long as we have...
I'm leaving.
Greetings.
I want...
Right.
See you.
Is it true you...
Is it true you quit the boot?
What?
I thought so, but I did.
Right. Okay, then. You and me...
A barf.
Flattery.
How well do you know?
Wow. Not enough to trust him with his airs and all. The night... Having said that, he has saved us from a few accidents in the village. He said that. Sometimes I think he must have a death wish or something. But then, who gives a toss? When he turned up a few... But he acts like his shit don't stink.
How is it going?
I'm not a monster. I got nothing against sheltering a few brave souls. But enough is enough. I just can't protect him.
What's your opinion?
My opinion? Tell the truth, I never liked how he talks. Like an elf reject. Him and me, we ain't always seen eye to eye. For example, if it had been up to me, I'd have
You look like you can probably...
Oh, just unlucky, I suppose. Last time in a lot...
Forget.
So, I never got to the front.
According to the... Do you have any suggestions?
Hey, I'm not a bloody oracle. Bring me some clue.
Okay, I'll come back. Your man Jervis. He seems even...
Oh, him, yeah. Last couple of days, he's gone completely stupid.
The fact that he led all the other weirdos on an expedition...
Well, now you mention it. Yeah, obviously.
Worthless winesop.
Right. I found out that they disappeared.
And is that it? I imagine you'll have to follow them to...
Do you have any...
We have to find out what the fuck they get up to at night.
I'll follow them from...
Whatever you like. I'll...
Vulcan and...
I'd like some information about the village. Let's talk about... Where could I find...
Sadly, perhaps...
I'll take my leave.
That was a close one. This whole business stinks. If we can't tell the difference between one of the... It seemed like they were coming back from the southeast swamps. Maybe some...
Whatever power be the origin of these possessions, it be ours.
I'll check it out.
We go east, then. I'm not happy about any of this. More and more, I am sensing the Ice Lords behind all of this. You should...
Captain, we're under attack. The Deadwalkers are headed this way.
Are you serious?
As a heart attack, Cap. You remember those strange guys? It was able to use them to find out everything there is to know about this place. And...
Delightful. That's all I needed.
Got it, Captain.
here. I came across this enormous creature. It's an absolute monster. You've never seen anything like it. Oh, I'd love to catch it. It would make one hell of a trophy, but I'm not sure I can take it down alone. You feel like...
You know the captain's looking for you?
Fuck the captain. Oh, come on. He can wait. The beastie out there can't. It could lose itself in the mist.
Okay, then. Considering how...
Ah, yes. I can just imagine the look on their face. Thank you. I'd never have brought it down without your help. Now that's what I call it.
Why aren't the chrysalids attacking? Hey, time to wake up. Are you Heyman? Marana's assistant?
Marana.
You okay?
Cool.
Man. Come on, we'll go back to the village.
Heyman,
Oh, you found him. Thank you. But what have you done to him?
He was like this when I found him in the swamps. He followed with...
He must be in a state of shock. In any case, Haman owes you much, as I do. All...
Hey, thanks. I'd like some information. Let's talk about... How's your assist...
Alas, there's been no improvement. He's awake, but react...
Where could I find...
Sadly, perhaps he will be...
Where could I find... I'd like to... Edwin, I need to...
What can I do?
I would like to... What do you think?
We just have...
What do you think?
We just have to find this creature. We look east...
Thanks.
If what it was hiding weren't so sinister, we could probably rejoice at spending a night outside that flea-bitten village.
Vulcan.
You want it?
As long as...
Captain. Hawk will finish.
You've been working for me long enough to know one thing.
I'm leaving.
There is none that thou knowest in this cavern, rest assured of that. The being that lives...
Huh. You mean my...
A pity that thou art not as combative with it. It is consuming thy mind e'en now. If thou dost allow it to continue, thou wilt...
Now that's ironic. Isn't that...
An insulting comparison. This parasite is nothing. It is insignificant. I can easily protect us. Thou shouldst give me more space, more liberty. Open thy...
Yeah, we'll see. You're asking me to let you come in and mark out your...
Thou wilt gain access to a greater part of me. To my knowledge. All that thou risketh is to gain in knowledge and power, and that can do thee no harm. We shall only be strong.
Well, let's see. Everything is rosy and without a...
I imagine that thou wouldst undergo a slight physical transformation. Thy body was not conceived to contain a power such as mine. It will consume thee if thou...
There we go. Admit it. You feel better.
Whatever thou risketh in trusting me is insignificant in comparison with what awaits us. If thou dost refuse to evolve, we will both soon be...
All right. Between the non-stop screaming and all your moaning, my head is going to...
Wise decision. Thou wilt not regret it. Yes.
Edwin, I need to...
What can I do?
I would like to ask you... What do you...
We just...
Thanks.
Thou mayest continue. If anything tries to control thy mind, I will...
Damn, this place is giving me the shivers.
If thou art incapable of controlling thy body, thou mayest as well let me...
Don't push me.
Beware of those creatures. They are powerful and probably the most vicious in all the Deadwalker army.
So you're the one who's been spied in the village. Now that I see you, I understand why you'd rather not show up in person. Oh yeah, I don't hear your voice in my head anymore. You must have figured that out, right? So if you've got a message to deliver, you're gonna have to do it the old-fashioned way. Forget it. I came down here to do two things. Look for mushrooms and kick somebody's ass. And guess what? I ain't found any mushrooms.
you believe you've won a victory? Mortal, the dead walkers come. Today I fall, but dozens of new brothers and sisters will.
Well, your Ice Lords have never messed with a Powder Master, now have...
If you listen to the rabble who actually live in the swamps, we should head back to the village now. If he was right, and a general is directing the attack...
Edwin.
What can I do?
I would like... Thanks. I know this place. The village is not far away to the right.
Vulcan. Where were you? We're holding this gate, but
Do you know where the captain is?
He headed for the center of the village. Sounded like it wasn't going well over there.
The prince is on the move again, and he's not...
The puppet he confronts.
It's more likely to be the puppet master. He looks like a
All of this power he animates with, it belongs to me. It was stolen.
If you're planning to take care of him like all the others, sounds good to me.
He is using more power than thou wilt allow me.
I can take care of myself, and here's my plan. I'm gonna come at him with everything I've got. Killing their general is gonna... That was one tough death's head. But it won't command anyone now. Without their general, the Deadwalkers should leave us alone for a while. But they'll reorganize, so we can't stay here.
You're right, mercenary. Let's use the time to leave. It's now or never if we're going to get to Karabthas. My father and the armies of the Free Nations should be there. If we hurry, we may be able to participate in the mother of all battles and finally push back the Ice Lords.
If thou dost throw thyself into this battle, the only thing that thou wouldst find is thy death, and their armies will not win. He is seeking his father's approval. He wants to buy the crown but he is mistaken. I only serve and live for the World Heart. Thy elven city is closer. If thou join with them, thy so-called friends will end up turning against thee.
Edwin seems to be fascinated by you. And I'm the only one who has supported her.
The Alliance of Pariahs. Do not say that thou dost really believe that. Especially about that sorceress. Thou hast no more choice. Thou must hasten to the World Heart and purify it. Do combat there. And if thou art not slain, at least one of thy companions, if not all of them, will betray thee.
Vulcan? Vulcan?
Yes, it happened.
You have to make a decision soon. Will you join us?
I don't know yet.
I understand. It's been a long day. I'll let you think it over.
Do you think we should listen to Prince Arundel?
The great elven army and what is left of the human army in this part of... separately, none of these troops stood a chance. But unite, reinforcements from the Freeborn Blades and Red Scribes will help. And even if I don't approve of all the strategic choices made by my sovereign these last few years, he knows the lands around Carolthas perfectly. And since you're curious to know more about what happened to you, my people's scholars are famous. They can surely help you.
You've got it all figured out.
I believe we can manage to hold the Deadwalker army back this time.
Do you think we should... Do you think we ought to follow the...
If you want to get to the World Heart, we'll need to go by there. But the Prince, believe me, I know his type all too well. In the name of his family, or because of an idealized vision of his future, chasing after glory and honor, unprepared and unprotected.
Seeing the shit we're in, I don't think he's doing it just for the glory. He's got an interest in having everybody...
And in making it look like everyone has survived entirely due to his talents. And do you really believe he wants you around, just not to mention the increasing threat implied by...
What do you suggest?
When we get to Carolthas, we better give them the slip and head to Black...
Why should we go down?
Because those lands are positioned quite close to the city of the elves, and like all the lands of the...
We'll be able to break camp soon.
For now, we're going to stick with the Red Scribes. They haven't paid us yet. In any case, that's where we're headed. I sent Wolf on ahead of us a few weeks ago to see if he... This war, but considering what's left of that, for the moment, it's the only...
Thy captain is less stubborn than thee. The things are...
That's not a good idea, Captain. As long as we still don't know what he is, and more important...
Well, up until now, he's been useful. I think if he'd wanted to harm us, he would have already done it, huh?
Prince Arundel is asking us to join up with his forces in camp.
For years now, the knight has fought in men, the generals, the kings, and the chiefs of those armies. Well, if the mercenary goes to Carolthas, this prince will use him for his own purposes. He cares for nothing beyond his own safety. And if he is faced with the Ice Lords, the knight is weary of these doubts and petty thoughts. He wishes to return to the attack. If he was in the mercenary's place, he would listen to the demon, and he would like to know that he would not stand alone in this...
Arundel wants me to go with him to Carolthas.
You should go with him. Carolthas is our only hope for now. We would be safer there. Both the human and elven armies are gathered there. And I believe you may... The elven sages are some of the wisest people on Vertial. If anyone...
It's pretty obvious what happened to me. A demon has somehow...
And this does not worry you?
Yeah, it's...
I can imagine. These new powers come at a price. And I fear that you, Vulcan, you must go to Carolthas. I believe you must find a way to control this thing. Or even...
What do you intend to do now?
I have to talk things over with the other members of my order. But we planned on everything that is left of the human and elf armies is there. The contract with your company only ends once there, anyway. What's more, it might be an excellent opportunity to learn more about your guest. And I suggest, until we should learn more, that you neither listen to it nor obey it.
I can't just leave. The prince is waiting to hear my decision.
There you are, at last.
I will fight with you at Carolthas. Your army may be...
Idiot! Thou hast sentenced the...
And now?
Now we will go with the others to Carolvass, to swell our ranks, combine our forces, and face the Deadwalker army on equal terms.
Equal terms? Because thou hast slain a vassal far from his master? Now draw close to the domain of one of these necromancers. Faced with his power of thousands, the power to slay this vermin lies within us. But it cannot...
And more power.
Yes. It's still not powerful enough. And this city is of no interest. The
You said that I lacked the power. I will not throw myself...
When thou returnest to the world, Heart, none will stand. Thou wouldst already possess the power to destroy this sorcerer and his like, if thou hadst but allowed the evolution of this useless body.
Vulcan, have you seen something?
They use thee.
Coming, Vulcan. Your captain will be wondering where we are.
Huh? Yes, of course. Let's go.
Seeing how cold it is, it will come as no surprise to you to learn that the Deadwalkers have already been here.
We must rejoin my father's army as swiftly as...
I think we already found them. Take a look around.
There are survivors. Apparently they are camped not far from here.
Prince Arundel, my lord, can it be you?
Soldier, what happened?
The Deadwalkers took us by surprise. The cold and the ice. We stood...
My father! Where is the...
I know not, your highness. But a few of us were able...
Valen is here! Take us to his...
By your leave.
My prince, we had lost all hope of seeing you return safe. We have no word from...
Bastion is lost, Valen. We came into this war too late. The General of the Alliance gave his life that I should have...
The deserter. What business did he...
The deserter was fighting, while you and your wondrous army waited warm and safe.
Silence! Both of you! Relmar saved my life, Valen. For now you will...
By your will, my lord. And I see...
In truth, they are escorting the Red Scribes. But their presence is our good fortune. This man slew one of their generals before... I will tell you more of this later. Now I must speak...
No one knows, my prince. The king was still in...
The river?
'Twas like a great wave that froze all that it touched. We had seen the approach of the Deadwalkers' vanguard 4 days before. And not even the sight of 10 juggernauts would have feared us. But we never dreamt that an Ice Lord... He walked calmly to within an arrow's flight of the gates, never once speaking. And then the river rose up from its bed to form a gigantic cloud. We understood our peril too late. Near all of our soldiers stood atop the ramparts or in the streets when the ice cloud fell. That was his signal to launch their assault, but we were already vanquished.
We must find the king!
I know, my prince, but every entry to the city...
It is clear we will not travel 200 paces if we do not first slay the sentinels close to the ink. Only then will we be able to attempt to enter the city and...
I'll go find your king for you.
Vulcan, did you hear me ask for volunteers? Our mission is over. The Red Scribes have screwed up from start to end. But they're in the hands of the...
Captain, since we're here, we may as well make ourselves useful, right? And we have to get inside those walls if we want...
Vulcan. You have...
That is why I shall go with him. I grew up in this city. We shall help one another.
My prince, you know well it is my duty to object to you taking...
And you also know that your objections will change nothing. No man here knows the palace better than I...
By your word, sire. But I fear most what other things you may find. I can but put my trust in your newfound champion. Don't forget, you'll have to deal with those sentinels before you try anything else, Vulcan. Meanwhile...
Understood, Captain. Damn, it's freezing here.
I've spent many winters in libraries with no heating. Which reminds me, do you know if...
No idea.
Not a book, many books. The elves have the most advanced culture in the world.
I have other things I gotta do first. But I will try to go with you so you can...
You don't understand. It's a lot more serious than 200 or 300 years ago. There were other groups of sages and magicians, like the Red Scribe.
So you think that they were the ancestors of the Ice...
I'm getting to that. The White Lords lived in the north of Vertiel, out in the ice. We know little about them. For a long time, but in reality, they somehow transformed themselves. And in one of the books, it was the portrait of that witch.
It is suspicious. We'll have to check it out.
Since you seem so close to her, try to find out more about her past. How old is she? Where was she born?
I will have to be careful so she doesn't get...
Keep me informed, but believe me, I'm almost...
I'd like to ask you if...
What do you want to know?
I've been thinking about... I still haven't managed to... But this is not really the... See you later.
Vulcan, I hope you've got good...
Do the Deadwalkers...
Still, and it's a
I'll take care of those walking corpses before you man up.
Thank you. That should give my...
I still haven't found your pen.
It's there, somewhere.
I have some... What can you tell me about the print?
I understand what you're asking. The answer is yes. Since he has demonstrated skill and courage, sometimes endangering his own life. He has, of course, taken some unnecessary risk.
I see. The young prince wanted to prove to his father that he was deserving of his affection.
He was merely seeking to
Do you know if there's any other resistance in...
The rare information I get these days is not good. The Chiller has apparently laid waste to one of the major elf settlements in the east. There are probably pockets of resistance, but...
One more reason to hold here. Do you have any information about...
Very little. Apparently, most of the Deadwalker troops have left. He assigned one of his concubines to control the region, but that said, if the Ice Lords keep to their usual tactics, they'll clean up the last pockets of resistance.
How did you survive the...
I was lucky. When we got wind of the arrival of... I was outside Keralthas when they attacked. Over the days that followed.
I'll be going.